A very warm welcome to Oxpen, the technical magazine with Wolfgang Rudolph. Hello and a very warm welcome. I would like to tell you a little about transmitters. For this we have to go to the theme. Transforming. What is transforming? Naturally some kind of physical sizes. And where do we have to form them into? Into measuring, forming, storable form, and other sizes. And that is normally electrical. Maybe years ago, you know that, your mother at home, when she had a baby and the baby became its bottle, and the mother held it on her cheek to test if the temperature was right, not too hot. The same with fever, she measured with her hand on the forehead. That are naturally very normal possibilities. Sizes, temperature sizes. Here, for example, to determine the wind direction is a very complicated story. Make your finger wet, put your finger up in the air, and from the side that the wind comes, would the finger get quicker cold because the spit there evaporates? Here you have a wind direction. A real movement, a physical movement, which over temperature changes you can recognize. That is all okay. But when you work in a firm where lots of machines work, you cannot just touch something with your finger and say the bearing is running hot or not. Either is your finger burned, and you cannot just simply determine it. We need objective measure sizes. And objective measuring you can only do with the measuring technology. I have brought here a multimeter with me. And when you look at it, I can measure, for example, the voltage of this battery. So now I go onto here, and we can see 1.558 volt. I can also, with such a multimeter, other things measure. When I switch through it, I can measure resistance. When I touch the measuring tips, we should see the resistance from one hand to the other. If I go further here, you can see the nano factor is the capacity, or milliamp, or larger power, amps. And what this device can also do, show temperature. Temperature measured naturally with a suitable sensor. There are also very special thermometers. I brought here my measuring thermometer with me. If we look at the display, it shows 20 degrees Celsius. And here at the front of the tip, which is hard to see because it is really small, if I touch it now, you can see the display, how it suddenly matches upwards. Straight away to 28, 29 degrees Celsius. And when I let go, it goes down. That means we have technical possibilities to record such sizes, voltage, temperature, and lots of other things. But how do we do this when we want to monitor continually machines and devices? Current consumption, temperatures, running noises, or anything else. I cannot not stand next to my machine 24 hours and measure any sort of values. For this we have measuring transmitters. These are small devices which these physical environmental sizes convert, and then make machines readable for a computer which it monitors. Partly can such transmitters decide what is high or what is low, when should I alert someone, when I have had a look at some of them. I have here from PCE the P20 KV1. That is a measuring facility, a measuring converter actually. It is attached to the power supply with an operating voltage in a wide voltage area. I have the possibility to clamp it onto a rail. So, and I have, apart from that, a voltage out here at the top to operate sensors. Here at the bottom, the measuring output. It is here as voltage plus minus 10 volt. Or I also have a current loop in milliamp, which I can connect here. So, and it does very simply, when I attach temperature sensors, it is compatible with a row of machine and commercial temperature sensors, but it can just as good measure voltage. When I just hold a monocell battery on it and look at the connected measuring device, You can see it gives values out. When you say OK, it has definitely not got 104 millivolt. That is correct. That is really the secret with it. This device is programmable. I can then here give in what it should put out when it sees certain sizes, certain temperatures, certain voltages. I can fit that totally individual. That means I can do it directly when I order it, or order it with the order and say I want it programmed like this and connect it to it. Or you buy a programming adapter. This here, for example, is compatible with it and connect it to it. It is called a PV14. It is connected here, so. And then I have the possibility using the USB to connect it to my computer and to start the software which is delivered with it. There I can currently see the measuring values, can put in curves, put in switch times, so to say freely programmable. When I've disconnected it, I have naturally the security that nothing is changed on here, but that how it is set, how it is programmed does, and that is what I need in operation. So a little guard that monitors what I want monitoring on electrical values, temperature for example, voltage and resistance, that it monitors it and reports to the computer, and when any values are overridden, I become a signal or it can trigger a regularity process. I have had a closer look at this device. That is the PCE-P30U. It is a measuring converter which signals from outside electrical or resistant values, converts into exactly that what we want. It is freely programmable. It has additionally a LCD display, which we can see up here. It knows the time, the date. I can set all that. I can make it display what measuring values it is actually working on. When it has a relay out, the memory is an internal memory. I can also put a SD card into it, which it recognizes straight away. And I can, onto this card, there we can see it, it installed it. It has recognized it now. I can save up to 500,000 storage records under this card. That makes a lot of sense to me when I'm on site. I want to monitor a machine. I want to know, for example, the bearing temperature. That I can connect the device like this to monitor and can directly on site recognize the value. And this value is saved so that I can later read it out and to know what has happened last night, what happened in the production cycle. I have the possibility to set borders. I can here attach relays. These relays which are on it, I can so set the borders which are over or under a value that they react and set off some sort of signal. It must not only be an alarm, but you can also stop a machine with them. And connections have, for example, like these, I can show you now, a thermal element connected. And we have at the top a temperature of 16 degrees Celsius. And as soon as I touch it, you can see the temperature rises. And at this moment the border value is reached and it is turned on, and when we wait a moment, it goes back down, and we see when it goes under this value, it goes back off. I also have the possibility, apart from the direct display here, over the voltage to catch the output. I get proportionally to the out voltage a measured value, and I can also over a current interface, 4 to 20 milliamps, over this operate it. That means I can over longer lines, less voltage drop, and to work the measured result, either on a different computer or other device which my machine steers.
Anderen Gerät, welches meine Systeme, meine Anlage steuert.
I have here the P43 from PCE, a measuring converter with which I can measure three-phase current, alternate current. Three-phase, well, some machines still work with three-phase, alone because of the power they can send. And there we can see
Leistung, die übertragen werden kann, die ja hier höher ist. Und
we have the
da
connections
können wir jetzt auch sehen,
drawn up. Here at the bottom we can see that it is for L1,
unten sehen wir, das ist
either current or in or current out,
Strom messen
with
kann.
which I can measure current. With L3 the same,
Anschluss ist für die Spannung, wenn ich nur die Spannung
or the center connection for the voltage and only the voltage, and when I want to measure it, that means I can synchronously all three lines, all three phases measure.
messen.
That measured value itself is programmable.
Ist programmierbar,
I can over the USB connection put it out,
ausgeben,
or I can over the USB connection program it.
das System programmieren.
Up to 4
Bis zu
outs
4 Ausgänge
I can program here.
programmieren.
I can for example buy as a relay device.
Relaisgerät
That means
kaufen,
events
das heißt, Ereignisse
when one phase outside a set area from me is, then an alarm can be triggered over a relay, or I can naturally over a serial interface, voltage or current interface, read the results.
Schnittstellen, über serielle Schnittstellen, Spannung oder Stromschnittstellen, diese Ergebnisse auslesen, weiterverarbeiten.
Further work on, further send, monitor from a computer or directly from here steer or switch when anything happens. So then I have a continual 24-hour monitoring of my machine, can then when anything changes with the machine react straight away, or let react and simultaneously let a report happen, secure that the machine is not run down and that it recognizes this beforehand. Also in small areas, not only in industrial areas where it was worked with high values and small effort can be protected, but in small areas. I monitor, for example, in small areas my freezer in my cellar, and when the electric's buzzed or it stops in any way to work, I can see this on my computer. A total useful and indispensable story all over, where machines are powered with electricity, where it is continually monitored, and must be to stop damage. So let's start on this side. That is from PCE the P20, a measuring converter with which I can convert temperature, voltage and resistance into analog out voltage or in a current loop, a 4 to 20 milliamp loop. Then we have the next device. It is a little larger. That is from PCE the P30U. It is a device with an external fit-in SD card up to 2 gigabytes. With this, up to 500,000 datasets can be saved. The LCD display helps me to simply read out everything and have the possibility simply to read the values, which are measured from the device. Naturally, I cannot connect using the interface, a computer or other device, and the last one is a larger place. With this I can three-phase electricity, voltage, measure in a network, and have the possibility to set limits. I can transfer these values continually to a computer. Also, this device, like the other two, is free programmable, so that I can the relationship from inside to out single almost fully freely defined. So as I need in my company 3 devices which protect machines, investments, and are easy to use, to build in, and good value, and to monitor.
Anzuwenden, einzubauen und zur Überwachung zu aktivieren sind.